Welcome to the MBL Rookie Draft. Today we'll see teams select franchise players who will forever change the culture of the team while having immediate success. While some teams will weigh risk versus reward, banking on a player's potential to develop. Some players will go on to be champions, Hall of Famers. Even though they were drafted in later rounds, their success won't be denied. You are witnessing the leader in full immersion gaming, the Madden Bomber League. So join our journey today. Go to 365.maddenbomberleague.com and take your chance to become a legend and forever be remembered like Lucky Jordan, Asa Sharar, because legends never die. And you're watching the MBL Network.
It is finally here, folks. It's the MBL Season 22 Rookie Draft, the day that most teams are always waiting for, and it's where you can take your team from the bottom all the way to the top. This is a day that changes teams, both for the good and the bad, and we are excited to have you hanging out with us here on this Saturday night. I'm OSU, and I'm hanging out with just a cavalcade of our MBL Network personalities. We got Lip Fat, Weaver, Bracco, Eddie Mars, and DK all going to be giving us insight on these draft picks here in the first round of the MBL Season 22 draft. Let's not waste any time. Let's get to the first pick. The number one overall pick is those Atlanta Falcons. They got 3 picks here in the first 11. They got this one in a trade with the New York Giants last year. And we're going to throw it over to our NFC South correspondent. That is Lip. Lip's been hanging out with Atlanta. Lip, this is a team that lost a couple players in the offseason, namely Vic Beasley, Paul Warlow were sort of the big names. They did add Randy Gregory, but this is a team that won 9 straight NFC South titles and then ended up falling off this year, losing that title to the New Orleans Saints. People know that they might have some needs, maybe at wide receiver, defensive end is what we've been hearing. What are you hearing out of Atlanta here at this number one pick?
Well, I talked to one and only throughout the day, and he is in a good position here moving forward with this draft. So at wide receiver, they still have Julio Jones. You know he's a monster. He's going to be doing just fine now. He's 30 years old. But beyond that, Willie Snead and Albert Wilson, those guys are a little older. They're not going to develop much more. So one of these amazing wide receivers that you have here, you have probably 2 or 3 guys you could take at number 1 and definitely be proud of that pick. Looking forward, they're going to have pick number 4, so they're going to be able to build that defense. The Atlanta Falcons are in a prime position to kill this draft.
And the pick is being sent to the commissioner. We will hear from the commissioner in just a second as soon as that pick reaches his hands. Lip, do you think that this is with 3 picks in the top 11? Is this an opportunity for the Falcons to just get back on top?
Yeah, definitely. With Julio Jones still being your number 1, he's still very good. Blake Bortles kind of had a down year last year, but they're going to let him ride for 1 more year at least. They only said that they would take a quarterback if an absolute star fell to them. I don't see that happening, so I do think that they are in a position to take a wide receiver at 1 and probably a corner at 4, and they could get the best at both of those positions depending on what the Vikings do. So this could be an absolute killer draft for these guys to get 2 stars on both sides of the football.
And the pick is in, and let's throw it over to the MBL commissioner for the first pick here in the MBL Season 22 Rookie Draft.
Welcome to the MBL Season 22 Rookie Draft. This is the day where stars are born. We would like to wish all the owners good luck throughout the draft. We hope you find the players you need to help build your franchise. The MBL front office would like to personally thank Doughboy, Gibbs, and our award-winning broadcaster, OSU, for the hard work making this draft presentation possible. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, with the number 1 pick in the MBL Season 22 Rookie Draft, the Atlanta Falcons select wide receiver Suggs.
And the pick is in, and it is indeed a wide receiver, Lip. It is Jawara Suggs, the junior out of Clemson. He's 6'2", 216, and this guy is known as a burner, Lip. I think this is sort of looked at as maybe the successor to Julio Jones. What do you think about this pick?
Yeah, and that's what one and only wanted. He knew that Julio was getting older. He's 30 years old, but he wanted to bring in somebody that could learn from Julio and be an insane number 1 wide receiver down the road. Julio's going to be number 1 for now. Suggs is going to be number 2. It's going to be a great duo, and those are some awesome weapons for Blake Bortles as he develops in the NBL.
Indeed, indeed. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, we do have a video package with a little analysis on Jawara Suggs and the skills he's going to bring to those Atlanta Falcons as our producer Gibbs pulls that up. Let's see what's going on and what you can expect to see in Atlanta from Jawara Suggs. All right, let's take a look at Jawara Suggs, the wide receiver out of Clemson. The first thing you'll notice about him is how athletic he is. Look at him in the red zone go up and get this ball at 6'2". He may not be the tallest receiver, but he's certainly going to go up and fight for every ball. Even on this play, look at him run down the right side of the field in a full sprint and sky for this football, bring it down in the end zone. Not an easy task. Suggs is also a great route runner. Look at him on this play, running the out route right at the pylon. Doesn't run it short. He's a smart, cerebral player, able to bring that down in the end zone. Here's a little fade route to the outside, and he gets there. Quarterback hits him, and he's able to bring down that touchdown. He's also incredibly strong. You know, he skipped the combine, but from these clips, you'll see how strong he is. Look, it takes more than one man to bring him down, and he gets into the end zone there. Here's a great clip. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people to bring him down in the middle of the field. No easy task. Suggs is also great at bringing down those tough balls in the middle of the field, which is certainly an asset for any quarterback. Look at him catch this in between two defenders and hang on to the ball, but can't forget his breakaway speed. Look at him go down the sidelines. He is a burner, and he is going to be a player that you're going to want to watch here in the MBL Season 22. What a player indeed for those Atlanta Falcons, certainly making those one and only the 9-time NFC South champions a little stronger. Now let's go over to number 2, and that's where we find the Minnesota Vikings, and that's where we find our correspondent, DK, our NFC North correspondent. DK, the Vikings, they had a couple losses in the offseason, namely Charles Johnson. They had Shady McCoy, but they did add some interesting players, namely J.J. in the backfield and Johnny Manziel playing possibly in a backup role for this Vikings team, but they definitely have needs on the offensive side of the ball. Where do you see these Vikings going here at number 2?
Well, first of all, I'm very surprised that Suggs went first. When you got Trey Hackett, 6'6" guy, runs a 4.37, then you got Tavon Whitlock, who runs a 4.29. You can't just pass them up, especially whenever Suggs didn't show up to the combine, so you didn't have any idea of what his physical measurables or were like. But the Vikings are just licking their chops right now. They're running to the podium right now to put in their pick. I'm telling you right now, they're going to grab Trey Hackett with the number 2 pick in the draft.
Trey Hackett is the choice from DK. As the note is being sent up to the commissioner, we will throw it over to the commissioner in just a second once he has the pick. DK, let me ask you this. What do you like in Hackett over Suggs? You said some strong words about Suggs. What do you like for Hackett? Oh, wait, actually, the pick is actually in. Instead of throwing it back to DK, we're actually going to throw it up to the commissioner. The boy ran it up to the commissioner pretty quickly. Let's throw it over to the MBL commissioner for pick number 2.
With the second pick in the MBL Season 22 rookie draft, the Minnesota Vikings select wide receiver Hackett.
And the pick is indeed Trey Hackett, the junior out of Texas A&M. This is a big guy, 6'6", 221. DK, what do you like about this guy?
He's 6'6", and he runs a 4.340. I mean, he's Calvin Johnson-esque. Big body, can beat you going deep, but he also can beat you in the red zone. I mean, you can't pass up on a stud like that with all those physical measurables.
Physical measurables indeed. And once again, I believe we had another video queued up for Trey Hackett, the 6'6" wide receiver out of Texas A&M. As Gibbs pulls that up and gets ready to throw it up there, let's see what the Minnesota Vikings are going to get out of this wide receiver from Texas A&M. All right, guys, let's take a look at another great wide receiver in the Season 22 draft. Trey Hackett out at A&M, and first of all, look at how good he is off the line. Able to fight through press coverage, create separation on the underneath route. He is a great route runner. Watch this here. Stopping on a dive, and that defender is gone. Look at the separation he creates. Makes it the easiest throw his quarterback could ever throw for a first down. Now, on top of that, he has very soft hands. I don't mean that he uses a lot of moisturizer. I mean that he is able to come down with the tough catches. Look at this one, fighting through contact down the middle of the field on the deep route. Able to pull that one in. Here's another example. I don't know how he came up with this one. Looks like he defied some physics here, getting back to that football and picking it up without it touching the ground. But he is strong. Look at him fight through contact here. Jump ball in the end zone. Watch him go up. 3 red jerseys around him, and he still is able to pull down that ball in the end zone. Now, he also has some great body control, which is tough for a wide receiver to have, especially at 6'6". But look at him come down with these catches on the sideline. Ready? Look at how much space he has here. His foot is near the white. It's not on the white, though. It gets it down inbounds for the first down. But let's not forget, even at 6'6", he's got some deceptive speed. Look at him create separation from the cornerback and break away from him. You're not catching this guy. Trey Hackett, Season 22 MBL Draft. What a player indeed, and we will see if Hackett can help those Minnesota Vikings challenge for that difficult NFC North title. Let's go to number 3. That's where we find Porter's Denver Broncos with the number 3 pick. That's also where we find our AFC West correspondent, Sonny Weaver. Sonny, the talk in Denver has been all about the wide receiving core. They lost Emmanuel Sanders. They got rid of Demaryius Thomas, but then they go out and sign Dez Bryant, a huge signing for a name that a guy might be getting up there in age, but definitely still has that star power. In the draft, we've been hearing out of Denver, offensive linemen might be where they're going, might be defensive line. What are you hearing out of Denver?
So I'm hearing a couple things. The first thing I heard off the board was if 2 wide receivers went in the first 2 picks, they would go cornerback. At this point, if they were to go cornerback, I'm guessing it'd be the cornerback McCann out of Stanford. Now, McCann, a great press corner, a big corner, 6 foot, 205, can get up on the line of scrimmage and can stop some of those offenses. I know the Oakland Raiders, Amari Cooper, you got to slow those guys down. You got Trey McIntyre in Kansas City slinging the ball around. So corner is an option. However, when you originally talked about 2 wide receivers going off the board in the first 2 picks, you expected one of those to be Tavon Whitlock, the speedy wide receiver out of Florida. Now, Whitlock with the 4.29, the blazing speed there, I got to wonder if they're thinking for even further ahead, life after Dez. They cut Demaryius Thomas, they cut Emmanuel Sanders. And so at this point, they're looking for another playmaker to go along Dez Bryant. And I think the pick may actually be Tavon Whitlock, the wide receiver out of Florida.
Definitely interesting to see which side of the ball the Broncos go as the pick is being sent up to the commissioner. We will find out in just a second as to where the Broncos go. They're battling out there in that AFC West that was so competitive this year. The Broncos did end up winning that division a year ago. Could not get there this year. Definitely a disappointment in the Mile High City. We'll see if they decide to go with a skill position on the offensive side of the ball or the defensive side of the ball as we wait for the pick to get to the commissioner. We want to remind everyone to give us a follow on Twitter at Bomber League and give us a subscription down below. We definitely want you to keep up with what's going on. The pick is into the commissioner. Let's send it to the commish for the number 3 pick.
With the 3rd pick in the MBL Season 22 draft, the Denver Broncos select wide receiver Whitlock.
And it is indeed Tavon Whitlock, the speedy wide receiver out of Florida. Sonny, you called it. This is a guy who can complement Dez Bryant. What does this guy bring to that Denver offense?
Well, he just brings another level of speed, 4.29. Think about that for a second. There's not a cornerback in the league that's going to be able to run with this guy. He's 6'1", so he still has pretty good size to go with that speed. Obviously, he's a senior. He stayed down in Florida another couple years. He could have come out last year. I thought last year he could have been a top maybe 20 pick. This year he works himself into the top 5. I think he's going to just bring a whole new dimension opposite Dez Bryant. He's going to start out working underneath, but he can give you that over-the-top presence.
Tavon Whitlock, 4.2940. If you move that decimal place over 1 spot, that's what I run a 40. It's a 42.9 for those of you doing the math out there. Tavon Whitlock. We actually do also have video on Tavon Whitlock. 3 wide receivers going in the top 3, and as Gibbs pulls that up, we will see what Denver is getting out of the speedy Tavon Whitlock from the University of Florida. All right, guys, let's take a look at Tavon Whitlock, the wide receiver out of Florida. And the one thing that everyone's been talking about is his blazing speed. Look at him get the ball out of the backfield and just take it to the end zone. He ran a 4.2940 at the combine. He is going to be tough to stop. Florida did a great job of getting him the ball creatively. Here's another example of that as Whitlock comes out in the reverse, more short yarded situation, but he's able to punch the ball in inside the red zone by using that great vision of his. He's going to be an asset for whatever team drafts him here in season 22, but he is a great route runner. Look at how much separation he gets here on the little out route in the end zone, able to get a touchdown. And you want to see even a better example of this? This is just a simple drag route. Look at how far away that cornerback is in man-to-man coverage. Whitlock able to create the separation and turn a 5-yard catch into a big gain. But let's not forget, he has an eye for the ball. Look at this play here. It is tipped up. He keeps his eye on the ball, catches it, then has the wherewithal to take the ball into the end zone. That's a play that somebody might have just dropped that ball, but Whitlock has the vision, and this is one of my favorite plays. Look at him on the outside here. Creates a little separation, goes to the high point, keeps keeps his feet in bounds, really everything you're looking for in a wide receiver. One more time on the left sideline, goes up and catch it. Whitlock is going to be great for whoever drafts him here in season 22. What a player indeed out of the University of Florida. The speedster will be going out to the Mile High City and the AFC West. At number 4, I'm having a little deja vu here. It's those Atlanta Falcons once again, and that's where we find Lip once again, who hasn't left Atlanta. Falcons picking at number 1. They did go with Suggs, the wide receiver, to complement Julio Jones in Atlanta. With a second pick in the top 5, Lip, where do you think the Falcons are looking at number 4?
Well, with all 3 wide receivers going in the top 3 picks, we probably won't see him look for another wide receiver to recover from that first pick. So we're going to look at the defensive side of the ball. We know that they lost Vic Beasley. They brought in Randy Gregory, but this is a prime opportunity to go out and get McCann. The other 2 teams passed on him. He's a very good corner. You heard Sonny talk about him. Right now they have Desmond Trufant and Devin Steed at cornerback, but their third cornerback right now is Dre Kirkpatrick. He's getting a little old. He's 29. The Bengals let him go. He's still a solid corner, but with Trufant being 28, getting up there in age, you want to bring in McCann, and he will be a star for a very long time.
We will see indeed if the Falcons do go with that cornerback. It's crazy how at cornerback 28 and 29 are considered old, but here in the MBL with speed being such a priority, that is the case. The Falcons have yet another pick in the top 5, and we will see them once more before this draft is over as they pick down at number 11 as the pick is going up to the commissioner, and I believe the commissioner has it in hand. Let's send it to the MBL commissioner for the Atlanta Falcons at number 4.
With the 4th pick in the MBL Season 22 rookie draft, the Atlanta Falcons select cornerback McCann.
Indeed, it is McCann. Jock McCann from Stanford, 6 foot 205 from Aurora, Colorado. He goes out to the West, plays at Stanford, plays all 4 years, and comes to Atlanta. Lip, what are the Falcons getting out of this cornerback?
Well, they're getting a guy that's going to be able to work with Julio Jones and the guy they just drafted at number 1. He's going to be a star corner. Right now, he runs a 4.41 40. That is blazing speed. He is going to be able to cover anybody in that division, and that's what they want to do. They want to be able to get back to playing ball where they can win their division and then go on a run in the NFC. With this guy, they're going to be able to cover all of the people in the division, and with the guy they took at number 1, they're going to have stars on both sides of the ball.
No doubt the Falcons looking to reclaim their division title as they do pick the cornerback McCann at number 4. And as we go to number 5, that's where we find the Arizona Cardinals, and we find our NFC West correspondent DK has been hanging out in Arizona with Bob and the Cardinals. DK, this is a team that lost a lot up front. They lost Mike Upati. They lost Jermaine Gresham. They added some interesting players. Josh Sitton, a nice player. Adrian Peterson, though, getting up there is still a force in the backfield. Where is Arizona looking to go? We've been hearing wide receiver, tight end, cornerback, somewhere around the skill positions. What are you hearing out of Arizona?
Well, the Cardinals' needs are at receiver, cornerback, and offensive line. And Whitlock, Hackett, McCann, and Suggs are off the board, and they were on the Cardinals board. Now we're looking at receiver Downs out of Auburn. He's 6'1", he's 201 pounds, has amazing route running, and can go up and get the football. They can also look at Tahani Iwabima, the cornerback. He's 6'1" too, with a good 4.3 speed. So I think he's going to end up going with Downs and helping out the receiving core due to the fact that they just picked up Golden Tate. Yeah, Golden Tate. They picked up Golden Tate, and he's old and long in the tooth. And I think they're going to go ahead and replace him with Downs.
We will see indeed as the pick is being run up to the commissioner as we speak. Arizona out there in that NFC West, no doubt a difficult division to fight in, and we will see where they end up going, whether it is wide receiver or it is cornerback. We are waiting for the commissioner to have the pick as we appreciate everybody hanging out with the chat, in the chat with us, hanging out on this Saturday night. MBL Season 22 rookie draft, and the pick is into the commissioner. Let's set it out there for the number 5 pick in the Arizona Cardinals.
With the 5th pick in the MBL Season 22 rookie draft, the Arizona Cardinals select wide receiver Downs.
DK, indeed, with the call. It is Javari Downs, the wide receiver out of Auburn, 6'1", 201, and this is a guy who is known more as sort of a possession receiver, but he runs clean routes, and this is a guy that's going to help this Arizona team. DK, what do you like about Downs, and how is he going to help Arizona win out in that NFC West?
Well, it's definitely going to give the Cardinals somebody other than Floyd that has some young age to them and go out there and make plays. They drafted a quarterback last year, and now he has another weapon. And to compete out there in the NFC West, which is wide open, anybody can win that division.
Indeed, we do see Downs at number 5 as we see 4 wide receivers go in the top 5 of this MBL Season 22 draft. As we now go to the NFC, we go to the NFC East. It's the Dallas Cowboys at number 6. And that's where we find Eddie Mars with his first MBL draft coverage. He's been hanging out with the Cowboys. Eddie, this is a Dallas team that lost some players that are sort of those big names. Des Bryant, Orlando Scandrick, Randy Gregory, guys who are known to be Dallas Cowboys. They picked up some nice players in free agency, namely Ronald Darby, a player they were very keen on. We've heard they have needs at defensive line, maybe in the secondary. What are you hearing out of Dallas? Where are they going to be going with this number 6 pick?
Well, I'm sure they would have loved to get some receivers, but after foregoing the top 5, the only good one left at this spot is Willie Hogue, who kind of fits that Brandon Cooks type mold. But if I had to guess, I'd say they go with Barry Newell out of LSU. He's 6'7", he's a really athletic edge rusher, and he fills the spot that Randy Gregory left really well.
No doubt, as the pick is being sent to the commissioner, and we will find out as to where the Dallas Cowboys go, as they have a top 10 pick here, looking to keep hold of that NFC East they have been fighting for over and over, losing in the NFC Championship game, and the pick is in. Let's send it to the commissioner for the Dallas Cowboys at number 6.
With the 6th pick in the MBL Season 22 rookie draft, the Dallas Cowboys select quarterback Womack.
What a surprise there. It is Kevin Womack, the quarterback out of Wisconsin, 6'5", 225. Eddie, the Cowboys go quarterback here. Are you a little surprised to see that?
I am shocked. I can't believe that they would pass up a player so good as Newell or Chris Lyle or Hogue. They have a lot of holes that they need to fill, and they still have a good young quarterback in Dak Prescott. To me, this seems like they want to move on. I'd be surprised if Prescott even starts a game this year.
Indeed, a surprising pick of Kevin Womack at number 6 to the Dallas Cowboys. And once again, we do have some video footage on Kevin Womack as Gibbs pulls that up for us. We will see what the Dallas Cowboys can be expecting to the heir apparent to Dak Prescott, Kevin Womack out of the University of Wisconsin. Let's take a look at Kevin Womack. First of all, his decision-making is on par. He looks around, he goes through his progressions, and instead of making a dangerous throw, he takes it to the outside and into the end zone. That is what you need at the higher level. Now, let's also take a look at the touch and the accuracy he has with his ball. First, the accuracy. He's got to make the outside shoulder throw to his receiver in the end zone, puts it only where his receiver can get it. Also, as you look here on the slant pattern, there's only one place he can throw this ball, and he puts the ball where only his receiver can get it, on the inside so his receiver can catch it and get down for a big gain. It's huge at the upper levels. Now, not only does he have the accuracy, he does have the touch. Here's a touch throw right here inside the red zone. He's got to make a tough throw to the tight end, but with enough touch, he's able to get it there and get the touchdown for his team. Another example of this touch throw. This is showing off the touch and the accuracy. Not an easy throw here. Take a look at this replay. It's between 2 defenders, and he puts it there with enough on it to get it to his receiver. A great throw there, but let's not forget, he's got a big arm. He stands in the pocket, and look at him deliver this ball down the field. He is going to be a great prospect for whoever picks him up here in the MBL draft. Indeed, a great player for Dallas to pick up. We will see what happens with the quarterback situation with the Cowboys as Kevin Womack is the pick. We find at number 7 the Jacksonville Jaguars, and that's where we go to our AFC South correspondent, Sonny Weaver. Sonny, this is a Jacksonville team that got a little younger, getting rid of Prince Amukamara. They did not re-sign to Sean Gibson. They brought in Jimmy Garoppolo, an interesting signing, maybe to challenge for the starting spot, as well as the big defensive lineman, Geno Atkins. This is a team that has sort of been on the cusp of challenging for those playoff spots. They're trying to get up there. Maybe a need at quarterback still, even though they signed Garoppolo. What are you hearing out of Jacksonville?
I'm hearing out Jacksonville that I think Womack was the pick. They were a little concerned that he could go in that top 6. Obviously, goes here at 6 to Dallas. Now, with that said, I think it turns into cornerback. They did not believe that two of the cornerbacks currently on the board would be sitting there when they pick. You've got Javier Daly out of Florida State and Tayani Iwabima out of Northwestern State. Now, a little bit different cornerbacks. Iwabima, the bigger of the two, 6'1", 186. He's more of your man cornerback, really not adept to running press coverage yet, but he's somebody that we feel like has the big enough body size to do that. Although Javier Daly, a little bit smaller, I think he's a little more well-rounded. I think he can run press at the NFL level right out of the gate. So if it was me, and from what I would guess, I would go with Javier Daly out of Florida State.
Javier Daly, the call from Sonny Weaver as the pick is into the commissioner, and we will be hearing from the commissioner in just a second. The pick is up there, and let's throw it up to the MBL commissioner for pick number 7 in the Jacksonville Jaguars.
With the 7th pick in the MBL Season 22 rookie draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars select cornerback Daly.
It is indeed Javier Daly, the cornerback out of Florida State, 5'10", 192. This is a guy who's known for being a little stronger than he looks, only 5'10", but he is a speedster. What is Jacksonville getting out of this cornerback?
Yeah, he like we said, he's not going to be the superstar that we saw out of McCann. He's somebody that I think can come in day one, and he's going to start on that Jacksonville defense opposite Jalen Ramsey.
No doubt, Jalen Ramsey's got a partner on the defense, and it is Javier Daly from Florida State. Let's go to number 8, and that's where we find the Baltimore Ravens' first pick for this AFC North, and that is where we find Bomber hanging out with the AFC North. The Baltimore Ravens are certainly a team who have been looking to challenge for this division. Bomber, what are you hearing out of Baltimore?
Well, Baltimore has some really good safeties right now, man. They really prided on their secondary. They had some key losses last season, though. I mean, we're looking at Jimmy Smith at cornerback. So I'm thinking, man, that cornerback pick of Daly right before them probably was their selection right now. So they're going to have to regroup and look. They didn't have too many key addition signings this offseason. They brought in Marquette King as a punter, Spencer Long and A.J. Klein. But losing Eugene Monroe and Jimmy Smith are definitely going to hurt this team. But I expect them to go somewhere actually on the offensive line and give Flacco a little bit of protection under center.
We will see indeed as the pick is going up to the commissioner, and we will hear from the commissioner in just a second where Baltimore goes in that very tough AFC North with a lot of teams having a ton of picks here as both the Browns and the Bengals are going to be sitting there. You're going to be hearing those names a lot. We've got some chatter in the chat. We'd like to thank everybody for hanging out with us. Cortez Logan saying, I'm shocked in reference to the Womack pick. Two Shoes Cardinals in the grid saying, man, this is cool. And we certainly appreciate you all hanging out with us here in the MBL Season 22 draft as we wait for that number 8 pick to get up to the commissioner. Once again, we'd like to remind everyone to hang out, to give us a follow on Twitter at Bomber League and to give us a subscription here. As the pick is into the commissioner, let's send it up to the commissioner for the number 8 pick in the Baltimore Ravens.
With the 8th pick in the MBL Season 22 rookie draft, the Baltimore Ravens select center Dronette.
And it is Dronette is the pick. They go offensive line, picking the center. An interesting pick here for the Baltimore Ravens, looking to protect their quarterback a little more. As Dronette is a junior out of Miami, 6'5", 297. This is a guy who has been raved about with his technique. We got Project Fat back with us. He's been hanging out with the Ravens as well. Fat, what do you think about this pick for the Baltimore Ravens?
Definitely slightly surprised by that pick a little bit. I think they really struggled on the defensive side of the ball, although they have added a lot of young guys to that secondary over the past couple of drafts. So I'm slightly surprised by that, but I think this just helps solidify that offensive line, gives Rawls a little bit more comfort running the football in between the tackles as well up the middle. And like you guys mentioned, the young quarterback that they have there as well, who had a decent season, but definitely nothing breakout just yet. So maybe they're looking to get him propelled to that next level for this Baltimore Ravens team.
Ravens looking to challenge in that AFC North as the first offensive lineman is off the board here in the Season 22 draft. At number 9, we got the Indianapolis Colts, and that's where we find Sonny Weaver once again. Hey, Sonny, the Indianapolis Colts, they lost Morris Claiborne in the offseason. They lost Dwayne Allen. They picked up some nice players, namely Alan Branch is a nice pickup for this team. But no doubt they have needs at cornerback and they have needs at offensive line. Where do you see Indianapolis going with so many players off the board already?
That's a tough one. Obviously, Drenette just goes. This has kind of been a draft where it seems like the team you're currently on, just the pick before is the one they want. So I think Drenette could have been in play there. I think, we talked about the cornerback Iwabima already once from Northwestern State. I think he's in play here. And I think you could look to the offensive line. Obviously, Andrew Luck is your franchise quarterback. That you got to protect the assets. And Luck is the asset. Now, you mentioned Dwayne Allen being gone. The tight end Flulin is a weapon. I'm not sure this is late enough yet to take him. He's a little bit of a vertical threat out of Louisville. Maybe a little bit early for him, but just another guy to keep an eye on here as this pick.
We will see where the Indianapolis Colts go in that AFC South. That's always competitive as the pick is being run up to the commissioner as we speak. And we will see where the Indianapolis Colts go at number 9. So many players already off. The pick is up to the commissioner. Let's send it out for the number 9 pick in the Indianapolis Colts.
With the 9th pick in the MBL Season 22 rookie draft, the Indianapolis Colts select left outside linebacker Renkart.
Jackson Rankart is the pick. He is an outside linebacker, 6'5", 247 from the University of Miami. An interesting pick here for this Indianapolis Colts defense for sure. Sonny, are you surprised that they ended up going linebacker and maybe not going with a skill position?
No, MBL is dictated by the splash plays you can make. And
here they
Renkart is a guy that can make the splash plays. They haven't had a pass rusher like this since Dwight Freeney. Rankart's going to bring that outside presence that can get to the quarterback. He can cause the sacks. He can cause the fumbles. He can create the splash plays that Indianapolis Colts are going to need to make the playoffs.
Folks, if you're playing the MBL Live drinking game splash plays, that's a drink. Everyone take a shot. It'll be the first time you heard it tonight, but it won't be the last, as the Indianapolis Colts do go with the linebacker Rankart. We go to number 10, and that's where we find the first pick for the Cleveland Browns and Fry, and that's where we find Project Fat. This is a Browns team that had a couple losses in the offseason, but not too bad. They did lose Desmond Bryant. They lost Barry Church. But again, not a whole lot of work done in the offseason. Maybe their best signing might have been Steven Gostkowski, the kicker. This is a team that wants to challenge for this NFC North title, but they have needs at running back, and they have needs in their secondary. This is the first of many picks that they have in this draft here at number 10. What are you hearing out of Cleveland here for this 10th pick?
Well, like you said, Barry Church was definitely a loss for them, but they addressed that situation. They went out and signed Cam Chancellor, who hit free agency as well. So they brought him in to kind of to help with that secondary. And I think right now what they really need to do is obviously still going to need help there, as they do have some aging corners and stuff there as well. But they need to help. They need to help the linebacking core. They were absolutely terrible against the run. They gave up the most rushing yards per game in the NBL last season. So I definitely look for them to go linebacker here. And there's a linebacker that I think would definitely fit them well. KJ Powell out of Notre Dame. He's a big, strong guy. He's tall as well. You can see, over the lineman, be able to kind of read what the quarterback is doing, as well as see that running back as he's trying to get to the hole. So I think that's definitely an area that they could address right now as well, is that linebacking core there in Cleveland.
We will indeed see where the Cleveland Browns go, as the Browns pick is being sent up to the commissioner as we speak. We'll find out where the Browns go. This is the first of many picks. They'll be picking once again at number 12, and then a little later in the draft at 21 and 22. 4 first-round picks for this team that's looking to challenge in that tough AFC North, that has been won by Lip so many years. No doubt they are looking to improve. As the pick is into the commissioner, let's send it up to him for the number 10 pick here in the season 22 draft.
With the 10th pick in the MBL Season 22 rookie draft, the Cleveland Browns select tight end Flulin.
The pick is in, and it is Vladimir Fluellen, the tight end out of Louisville, 6'4", 262. This guy is a hoss. He's known as a good blocker, but this is a guy that can get downfield and catch the ball. What sort of weapon is the Cleveland Browns getting here with this number 10 pick?
They're getting a big-time weapon in the sense of they're going to have a guy that can definitely go up and get the football. Kendall Bryan, this will be his second year here in the NBL. He threw 13 touchdown passes to an abysmal 49 interceptions last year, so he definitely needs a weapon that can go up and get the football for him. He's still young, learning the offense as well, and kind of transitioning into the NBL as well. I'm definitely surprised by this pick a little bit. Because I feel like they have some other needs, but they do have a ton of picks in this draft as well. So this is a guy they felt like they had to take now, possibly not be there in a couple of picks or maybe later on in this draft when they were looking for him. But he definitely rose up their draft board here heading into this draft. So I think they definitely have a huge weapon. It's going to help replace Gary Barnidge, who did leave during free agency. So I think that this is a really good pick here as well, and we'll probably see them address some of those other areas later on in the draft.
The luxury of having 4 picks in the first round is you do have that opportunity to maybe pick best player available, and they definitely felt that the tight end Fluellen was the pick. Let's go to number 11, and like a bad record, once again, it's the Atlanta Falcons with their 3rd top 11 pick, and Lip's just been living down there in Atlanta, listening to one and only what he is thinking. This is the 3rd pick, Lip. They went wide receiver at number 1. They went cornerback at number 2. Where are the Atlanta Falcons looking here at number 11?
Well, the Atlanta Falcons have done a very good job with their picks so far. Got a solid wide receiver and a star cornerback. I talked to one and only just a few minutes ago. He said that pass rush is the number one thing that they want to fix on this defense. You go out and you sign Randy Gregory, but currently they only have one defensive end on the opposite side on their roster, so I look for them to go for a defensive end. The guy that I think fits best would be left end Barry Newell. He's 6'7", 243. He's a pretty quick guy, very explosive. He's the top ranked guy in the 3-cone and 20-yard shuttle. This guy is going to be a force, and if they want to address pass rush, this is the guy to do it.
We will see indeed if it is Newell and the pass rush, as the pick is going up to the commissioner, the Atlanta Falcons, with their 3rd pick in the top 11, wheeling and dealing over the last year, trying to get more of those picks as the Falcons look to reclaim that NFC South title that they won 9 years in a row up until last season. The pick is in, and let's send it up to the commissioner for the number 11 pick in the Atlanta Falcons.
With the 11th pick in the MBL Season 22 rookie draft, the Atlanta Falcons select left end Newell.
And Lip, once again, correct. I'm starting to think you're a soothsayer over here. I actually think you're probably just talking to one and only, but I'm going to give you a little credit and say you're just a great predictor. Barry Newell, the junior out of LSU, 6'7", 243, coming off the end there. That's a big guy to be playing defensive end. What are the Falcons getting in this guy?
Well, they're getting a guy that can do it all. If you look at their stats last year, the Falcons were top 10 against the pass, but they were only 18th in points, and they were actually 30th against the run. So this guy's going to be able to come in and add to that pass rush, add to that good pass defense, but he's going to be able to fill a big need with Randy Gregory, stop the run, and put the Atlanta defense definitely in the top 5 with Newell and their new cornerback, McCann.
Barry Newell, the pick for the Atlanta Falcons at number 11. Let's go to number 12. And it wasn't too long ago we heard from Fat in the AFC North. We're going to hear from him again, and we're going to hear for the Cleveland Browns once again as their 2nd pick in the top 12 is here. Fat, they go tight end first. Sort of an interesting pick, but they do have 4 picks in this draft. Might have been going best player available. What are you hearing out of Cleveland, and where do you think the Browns are going here with this number 12 pick?
Like I was kind of talking about a couple picks ago, I really think they need to start addressing this defense here. This is the opportunity to do it. I think there's a lot of a few good guys that they could bring in and be, potential splash players here in their first season in the NBL.
Don't you start it too, Fat. Come on, man.
But, you got to think about it. They're going against teams, like the Super Bowl team like the Steelers. They won it 2 years ago, or 2 years in a row, and then they lost it this year. So they've been to the Super Bowl 3 years in a row. You're going against another good offense in the Cincinnati Bengals. So they really got to address that defense and be able to start slowing those guys down if they want to compete in this division. So I think that now is the time for them to finally address that linebacker situation, and I think that they'll do it here.
Let's see where the Browns do go as the pick is being run up to the commissioner. We will see where the Browns go with their 2nd of 4 picks here in the first round. And once again, we'd like to thank everyone for hanging out with us here in the Season 22 MBL Rookie Draft. It's one of the biggest nights of the year, and we're happy you're all joining us here on this Saturday night. I'm OSU, and we've got a bunch of guys giving us advice and analysis here from our NBL Network crew. The pick is into the commissioner. Let's send it up to the commish for the number 12 pick in the Cleveland Browns.
With the 12th pick in the MBL Season 22 rookie draft, the Cleveland Browns select middle linebacker Powell.
Fat, they do indeed go defense. Finally, you've been calling for it, and they go KJ Powell, the junior out of Notre Dame, 6'2", 251. This guy is fast, playing in the middle. He's a hard-hitting, fast linebacker. What is this going to do for the Cleveland Browns defense in that very tough AFC North?
It's going to help them, slow down that running game, which they had a hard time doing last year. So that's definitely what this guy's going to do. Not only is he quick, like you said, but he's able to kind of sit there and watch and wait to see where the running back is coming through as well, because he's got really quick feet, so he can definitely explode, get to the ball carrier pretty quickly. But he's also not too bad in coverage as well. So he's definitely going to be manning that middle of the field, and he's going to definitely help these guys not only this year but for a long, long time to come.
The Browns going middle linebacker, the Powell out of Notre Dame. Now we go to lucky number 13. That's where we find the Miami Dolphins. That's where we get to hear for the first time from Brocco. And Brocco has been hanging out with Miami. This is a team that finally got rid of Ryan Tannehill. This is a team that also lost Robert Ayers in the offseason. They added Vic Beasley. They added Brock Osweiler, possibly to challenge for that starting position. But no doubt this team needs a quarterback. Is Osweiler the answer? Where do you think the Miami Dolphins are going with this 13th pick?
Well, talking to Cuba here recently, I think he's going to give Brock 1 year, and if I were the Dolphins right now, I'd be very excited. One of the best offensive linemen is left on the board. They definitely had a very big issue. Their right tackle, Fragel, gave up 10 sacks alone last season by himself. So right here, I think they're going to go with Rashad Spurlock, the left tackle, and help solidify that offensive line this season.
We will see indeed if Cuba does solidify up that offensive line. The Miami Dolphins have been victimized on the offensive side of the ball, giving up tons of sacks and turnovers, and we'll see if the Dolphins do try to shore up that offensive line, possibly for Brock Osweiler, as they have the 13th pick here in the draft. Got a lot coming in from the chat. We'd like to thank everybody for hanging out with us. We got Jiggy J-Rod hanging out with us. You got Marcus Mendoza indeed hanging out with us. Mr. Chunky and Cortez Logan, of course. We appreciate everybody who is hanging out with us in the chat. We see Chino up there as well. We appreciate everybody who's hanging out with us on this Saturday night for the Season 22 Rookie Draft, as the pick is being run up to the commissioner from the Miami Dolphins, and we will indeed hear where the Dolphins are going. This is a team that started out winless. Once again, they went winless in Season 20. They started out winless in Season 21, but they ended up putting some nice games together at the end of the year. They were able to put some wins together and challenge for that, get out of that number one pick is the big one, especially when you're so down in the draft order. It's nice to not be the number one pick, and the Dolphins were able to make some trades. They're picking here at number 13. We're just waiting for the pick to get to the commissioner, and while we're waiting here, we want to remind everyone, give us a follow on Twitter at Bomber League. That is where you will find out the latest news here in the Madden Bomber League, and also when we will be putting out MBL live games. It's some of our biggest broadcasts of the year, as we do broadcast a lot of our games. We put on the most broadcasted games ever last year, and we're able to broadcast most of the playoffs, including the Super Bowl. It was one of our biggest shows. The pick is finally into the commissioner. Let's set it up to the commissioner for the number 13 pick and the Miami Dolphins.
With the 13th pick in the MBL Season 22 Rookie Draft, the Miami Dolphins select left tackle Spurlock.
The pick is in, and it is Spurlock, the left tackle. They are trying to shore up this offensive line. And Brocco, as you said, this is a team that gave up a lot of sacks. Do you like the pick going with the left tackle?
This is definitely going to be big for the Dolphins. You know, they've had a lot of QB issues, and I really think that it's due to the fact that they get a lot of pressure in their face. This left tackle is definitely going to shore up this offensive line and even help that really weak rushing attack. You know, everybody liked Gage Burke last year. Maybe this is the guy that they need in order to push forward.
We will see indeed if the Miami Dolphins maybe get a couple more wins next year and can maybe challenge for a playoff spot, as we saw some improvement from them at the end of the year. Let's go to number 14, and that's where we find the Cincinnati Bengals and Project Fat once again. The Cincinnati Bengals had an interesting offseason, getting rid of some players that you just think are synonymous with Cincinnati. Geno Atkins and A.J. Green, namely. Getting a little younger, they do pick up Devin Funchess in the offseason, also Dominic Rodgers-Cromartie. This is a team that maybe has some needs still at wide receiver. Devin Funchess is a nice player, but losing a guy like A.J. Green, you're definitely going to want to shore that up. Also at defensive tackle. Fat, what are you hearing out of Cincinnati?
A lot along the lines of what you said. Like you said, they released A.J. Green, kind of a last-minute decision. They felt like there was a potential in this draft as well, but they also, like you said, picked up Funchess and Emmanuel Sanders. But I definitely think they have to address the fact that Geno Atkins is gone. He was always a big guy in the middle, was able to stop the run as well as get to the quarterback. Not always are you able to find a tackle that's able to do both of those things for you consistently. So I definitely think that they look at that position here first. But once again, they're another team just like the Browns that have 4 picks in this draft. They have another one coming up here, just a few picks as well. So they can kind of do what they like, what they feel like they need to get right now that may not be there a little bit later on for them because they do have so many picks. But I think defensive tackle is the first position that they would like to address here with the exit of Geno Atkins.
Let's see if they do go with that replacement for Atkins as the pick is being run up to the commissioner here at number 14. The pick is in. Let's set it up to the commissioner for number 14 and the Cincinnati Bengals.
With the 14th pick in the MBL Season 22 rookie draft, the Cincinnati Bengals select cornerback Iwabima.
They indeed do go with Tani Iwabima from Northwestern State from Mali, Africa. They don't go defensive line, but they do go defensive side of the ball. This is a guy 6'1", 186, small school, Northwestern State. There's a lot of raw talent in this guy, though. Only started playing football a couple years ago. But this is a guy that can definitely shore up that secondary and can grow into a great player. What are the Bengals getting out of this young corner?
Well, like you said, he's only been playing football for a couple of years, and he had the potential. People talked about him possibly being not the number one corner, but also a top 5 pick. So I think they were slightly surprised that he did fall to this point. So once again, like I touched on, they wanted to get him now because there are a couple more picks in between this one here and pick number 17 for them. But I think that they're getting a big time playmaker, and they just brought Dominic Rodgers-Cromartie in as well, so he can definitely take some time to learn from him as well this season. Who's a great guy who's been in the league for a long time that can definitely teach him a lot. So I think they brought in a guy that's may not be that guy for him this year, but definitely next season, and could definitely be a top talent for this in the MBL and for this Bengals team.
The Bengals do bring in Iwabima from Mali, Africa, and Northwestern State at number 14. We go to number 15, and that's where we find the Philadelphia Eagles, and we get to hear again from Eddie Mars. Eddie, the Eagles, not a huge lot of losses in this offseason. They lost Rodney McLeod. They lost Jason Kelsey. Some nice players, definitely trying to get younger. They end up signing Tevin Coleman. They end up signing Deron Harmon, but this is a team who's fighting in that NFC East, looking for cornerbacks. We've been hearing offensive line. What are you hearing from Philadelphia? Where are they looking with this 15th pick?
Yeah, I'm sure they would have loved to get Iwabima there. They must have had their eyes on him the whole time as he was dropping. But they need a lot of help on the offensive line. Really, their left tackle is their only solid piece. So I can see them going with Marquez Person here, the right guard out of Texas. He was top 3 in the combine in all of the major offensive line categories. They could get a little bulkier and go Fisher Meyer at left guard out of Oregon. He put up 37 reps, the top for his position in this class.
Definitely possibly going with that offensive line, filling the need for the Philadelphia Eagles as the pick is being run up to the commissioner, and we will find out where Philadelphia is going in just a moment, always playing in that tough division. Got to challenge those Dallas Cowboys every year. The NFC East is certainly a killer division to be in, and we will find out where they go momentarily as the pick is being run up to the commissioner in October, trying to see where he is going to go in this draft. We appreciate everybody hanging out with us in the chat. A lot of praise for Iwabima and that pick. Cortez Logan says, I can get behind that pick. Iwabima is a good pickup. Definitely as we go through the seasons here in the MBL, we can see how these players develop throughout the years. Two Shoes Cardinals giving him the Millennium Nightmare nickname. And I sort of like it. I think we should start calling Iwabima the Millennium Nightmare. I think it's a great nickname, and he will be a guy that the Bengals will be looking to have on the opposite side in that secondary and stopping the passing attack from such teams as the Browns and the Steelers. As the pick is in, let's send it to the commissioner for number 15 and the Philadelphia Eagles.
With the 15th pick in the MBL Season 22 rookie draft, the Philadelphia Eagles select left guard Meyer.
And indeed, they do go with offensive line. They go with the guard Fisher Meyer out of Oregon. This is a big guy, 6'3", 325. This guy is a horse in the middle of that offensive line. And Eddie, what do you think about this pick? A 325-pound lineman. They're definitely trying to get bigger up front.
Yeah, I really like it. It filled a need that it filled something they desperately needed. Obviously, 37 reps, that kind of weight, he's going to be incredibly strong and really open up some holes for Tevin Coleman.
And we will see indeed how he does on that offensive line, as that is who the Eagles get at number 15. Let's go to number 16. That's where we find the New York Jets and Delvar. And that's also where we find Brocco hanging out with the Jets. Brocco, this is a team that continually wants to fight for division titles in that AFC East. They definitely have been close in the past years. They are looking, though, to improve here in this draft. What are you hearing out of New York? Where are the Jets looking at number 16?
Well, I just got off the phone with the Jets owner Delvar, and originally we had discussed that O-line was their main priority, but they're excited right now that the defensive tackle Howard Landholt is left on the board. That is their best player available, and they're going to take him.
We will see indeed if that is the pick, as the pick is being run up to the commissioner, and we will see if the Jets do go there. This is a New York Jets team that had some losses in the offseason, ended up losing a guy like Darrelle Revis, a leader in the locker room. Let's see where they go. The pick is in. The commissioner has it, number 16 in the New York Jets.
With the 16th pick in the MBL Season 22 rookie draft, the New York Jets select defensive tackle Landholt.
And the pick is in. They do go defensive tackle. It is Howard Landholt, the defensive tackle from Oregon. 6'3", 317, as he's definitely going to shore up the defensive line. Braca, what do you think of that pick?
This is going to add more fire to an already great defensive line with Wilkerson Williams and Sheldon Richardson. This is going to be a force to be reckoned with there in the AFC East. Definitely going to need a good pass rush now that you lose Revis, and that secondary is a little shaky. So this is a great pick for these guys.
Indeed it is. And before we get to the Cincinnati Bengals and their number 17 pick, I can hear all y'all out there in the chat already asking, hey, OSU, I want to be a part of the MBL. You guys seem like you're having a lot of fun out there, and this seems like the best league in the world. How can I be a part of that? Well, viewer, we have a promo for you. This was made by our very own Heartless, and it'll give you a little information on what you can expect here in the Madden Bomber League. Well, that got me pumped, and I'm already a part of the Madden Bomber League. And as always, you can go to our website, 365.maddenbomberleague.com. That's where you can find so many things like the history of the MBL. You can find our MBL Live players of the game. You can find award winners from Season 21 and beyond, and upcoming Season 22, as the Madden Bomber League is always looking for people to join the league and their development league, The Grid. Let's get back to the draft. At number 17, we have the Cincinnati Bengals again. They just picked at 14. That's where we find Project Fat once again. Fat, they do go with cornerback Iwabima at number 14, but as you mentioned, they did lose Geno Atkins in the offseason. They don't have a replacement for him yet. Is this where they go at number 17? Are they looking on the line?
Yeah, most definitely. And I think the only reason why they didn't make that pick at number 14 is because they were shocked that Iwabima even dropped to them in that position, and they definitely couldn't pass on him there. So, if it wasn't for that, I think Landholt would have ended up being a Bengal. Instead, he goes to New York. But I think that they're looking at there's a couple different guys they're looking at, Dawson Peters as well as Dawan Stewart from Michigan State. They're definitely going to address that here now that they've gotten their corner that they were looking for. They're going to go ahead and replace Geno Atkins, or try to at least, because that's definitely a tough guy to replace, and they're going to go D-tackle here.
The Bengals with their second pick of 4 here at number 17. As the pick is being run up to the commissioner, we will find where Cincinnati goes after going cornerback with their first pick at number 14. And you'll hear from the Bengals once again at 23 and 26. The pick is in. I'm getting word the commissioner has it. Let's send it up to the commish for pick number 17 in the Cincinnati Bengals.
With the 17th pick in the MBL Season 22 rookie draft, the Cincinnati Bengals select defensive tackle Stewart.
It is Dawan Stewart out of Michigan State, the junior, 6'5", 306, originally from San Antonio, Texas, went up to East Lansing and played in the Big Ten. And Fat, as you said, they were looking for that replacement for Geno Atkins. This is a guy that played hard-nosed Big Ten football at Michigan State. What are the Bengals getting? Is this the replacement they've been looking for?
Hands down, and I think Geno Atkins, they obviously didn't go into the season beginning this year to planning on replacing Geno Atkins, but I think this is a guy that could definitely do it. He has all the potential in the world, and as long as he's willing to go in and work hard and learn from all these NFL veterans, I definitely think that he can be a Geno Atkins type player and help the Cincinnati Bengals get over the hump that is the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Stewart, the pick out of Michigan State for the Cincinnati Bengals. We go to number 18, and that's where we find the Kansas City Chiefs with back-to-back picks here in the draft at 18 and 19. That's where we find Sonny Weaver once again. Sonny, this is a Chiefs team that lost some wide receiving talent. They lost Jeremy Maclin in the offseason. They also lost Ron Parker, Albert Wilson, some of the other names that they no longer have. They signed TJ Yeldon, a nice signing for their running back core, but this is a team that definitely has needs at wide receivers with so many receivers off the board already. What are you hearing from Kansas City here at number 18?
So we've heard some different things from Kansas City throughout the process. Obviously, wide receiver was high on their board. Wide receiver at this point is probably a little bit of a reach. They were concerned about offensive line, want to protect the franchise. Trey McIntyre, he got sacked a ton last year. But actually what I'm hearing right now is the right outside linebacker from Tennessee, Mario Minter. They want to get pass rush on the opposite side of Justin Houston. Houston's getting a little bit older. Only's got a couple more years left. They got to start finding the next great pass rusher in Kansas City. They've had some great ones throughout the years, but I believe the pick right here is going to be Marion Minter from Tennessee.
We will see indeed as the pick is being sent up to the commissioner, and let's hear from the commissioner at number 18 in the Kansas City Chiefs.
With the 18th pick in the MBL Season 22 rookie draft, the Kansas City Chiefs select right outside linebacker, Minter.
And you are indeed correct, Sonny. It is Marion Minter, the junior out of Tennessee. This guy's a monster, 6'3", 241 at outside linebacker. Is this a guy that's going to lead this defense to possibly an AFC West championship?
Yeah, I think it's a guy that's going to get immediate pressure, and that's something they got to do. One thing you got to do is create splash plays in MBL, and you're going to hear a lot from it. There you go. Drink, baby. Sonny Weaver with the splash plays. You've got to create splash plays. Minter's a guy. He's a little bit smaller, not your bigger guy, more of a Bud Dupree type guy that Steelers have had a lot of success with. But Minter's going to be able to get that first step off the edge, get the pressure, create the splash plays, and help the Kansas City Chiefs have a shot to win that AFC West.
Indeed, at number 18, it is Minter. Sonny, I'm enjoying talking with you. I'm enjoying hearing about these splash plays. And the Chiefs are up again once more at 19. A unique situation having back-to-back picks here. What are you hearing from Kansas City with their strategy at number 19 after getting the linebacker they wanted at number 18?
Well, I think they're looking for a safety to go on the opposite side of Eric Berry. Obviously, Berry's been a great safety in MBL for years. However, he needs a running mate back there, and I believe at this point the best strong safety is going to be Black. Now, what I've heard about Deshaun Black, he was projected coming into the draft as a second rounder. The interviews went great out in Kansas City, and so I think that Black's going to be the pick. He's a guy that he's more of a ball hawking safety, not something you normally see in a strong safety. He's got great zone coverage. He's going to be able to run across the entire field, make some plays, and really make him and Eric Berry one of the best tandems in NBL.
And the pick is into the commissioner. Let's send it to the commissioner for pick number 19. And once again, the Kansas City Chiefs.
With the 19th pick in the MBL Season 22 rookie draft, the Kansas City Chiefs select strong safety Black.
It is indeed Black for the Kansas City Chiefs at number 19. Strong safety. Sonny, how important is it for them to have a leader in the secondary there at strong safety?
Well, like I said, Eric Berry's been that guy for so long. Obviously, he's getting up there in age. I think Black is a guy that can come and play right away, provide that support. They've got a good secondary now. You've got Black, you've got Berry, you've got Peters, you've got some different guys there that are really making that a formidable secondary. Then you add the pass rusher Minter there, and you've got a defense that's looking to be a very dynamic force, creating a lot of turnovers, a lot of splash plays going forward.
And that's another drink for you folks out there, as the pick at number 19 is the strong safety. Let's go to number 20, and that's where we find the New Orleans Saints and Bananas, and that's where we find my friend Lip. Lip, Bananas came in his first full season here in the MBL and went out and won the NFC South, winning that division and going into the playoffs. And we're not shy in spending money in the offseason. They did go out and sign some players like Tyler Lockett. They signed Bud Dupree. They had to re-sign Leylon Alston, who ended up testing out free agency after winning MVP and setting the rushing record. They had to pay him a bunch of money after picking him up off the practice squad. This is a team that definitely has needs on the defensive side of the ball. What are you hearing out of New Orleans as they try to win their back-to-back NFC South championship?
Well, this is a good team. They had a good plan, and they were able to get through the injury to Craig Dronette. A lot of people didn't think that they could do it without their quarterback, but Alston picked up the slack. Now, a lot of people say that they should go defense, but I'm looking at this team, and I see a very strong left side of the line. Left tackle, left guard, and even center are solid positions. You need blockers for Alston to run behind. But on the right side, their right guard and right tackle, they got a lot of guys on the roster, but I don't see anyone that can play. Looking out there at the rookies right now, I love this guy, Dallas Zumwalt. He's strong as hell. He can bench press a bus. He is one of the strongest guys in this draft, and he is going to be one of Leylon Alston's best friends moving forward.
We will see indeed if they do go with the big hoss out of North Carolina, as the pick is being run up to the commissioner from the New Orleans Saints. The pick is in. Let's send it to the commissioner for pick number 20 in those New Orleans Saints.
With the 20th pick in the NBL Season 22 rookie draft, the New Orleans Saints select left guard Zumwalt.
It is Dallas Zumwalt from the UNC North Carolina. He's 6'3", 327 at left guard. He is originally from Ashtown, Virginia. Not too far from home. He goes to play for the Tar Heels, and he has a great career over in the ACC. Lip, 6'3", 327. This is a big guy. He's going to open up some holes for Alston. What are the Saints getting out of this offensive lineman?
Well, I already talked about the guy's strength. I know, he's very strong, but another part of him that is underrated is his speed. He's going to be playing probably right guard for the Saints. You know they love that run game. He is the fastest guard in this rookie pool. He is going to be able to go all over the place, and he's going to do it with ease with his speed and strength. This is a complete star from the offensive line perspective. This is going to be a crazy rushing attack with Alston back for the Saints.
Indeed, a big pickup for that offensive line, and Leylon Alston looking to break more records this year. Let's go to pick number 21. That's where we find the Cleveland Browns with their third pick overall. That's where we find, once again, Project Fat. They went tight end first. They go middle linebacker, shoring up that defense second, filling a big need for this Cleveland Browns team and trying to stop the attacks of the potent offenses there in the AFC North. Third pick in the draft. Here is they're going to be going at 21, and then their fourth one's at 22. Let's focus on 21. First of all, where do you think the Browns are going next?
Well, I had an opportunity to kind of talk with them, and we got kind of a little bit of a story going on here. But they're going to go to the offensive line. They're going to help out that now second-year quarterback, Kendall Bryan, and they're going to go and get some old teammates of his. And with this first pick, they've been really talking about the center from the Ohio State as well. Jake Lacey is a guy that they're looking at doing, like I said, to help shore up that offensive line. They feel like, since they've let Thomas go, they need to start addressing that area to help this young quarterback. And they're going to go get him one of his old teammates that he used to play with that can help this new lineman with the offense, since he is 1 year in himself. And they're gonna start protecting this guy and give him an opportunity to let plays develop downfield and start getting a vertical offense going for this team.
The pick is in. Let's send it to the commish at number 21. It's the Cleveland Browns.
With the 21st pick in the NBL Season 22 rookie draft, the Cleveland Browns select center Lacey.
It is indeed Jake Lacey, the center from The Ohio State University. 6'2", 295. That's a big guy who's going to shore up that offensive line. All right, Fat, they get their center at number 21. Where are the Browns looking as they have back-to-back picks here at number 22?
Well, and like I said, the story here is that they're going to get his old teammates, his old protection from The Ohio State University. They're going to go get the left tackle now. You've heard of Jake the Snake, and now you got Frank the Tank, Mr. Frank Plummer, the left tackle here with this pick.
Let's see, indeed, if they go offensive line once again, as the Browns want to shore up that offensive line, give plenty of protection to their young quarterback, as they have a lot of strong defense there in the AFC North. The Steelers, the Bengals, all with huge defenses. The Ravens' defense is certainly an improvement over the last couple of years, as they're looking at number 22 here. Their last of 4 picks, they ended up picking earlier in the draft, number 10. They went with the tight end Fluellen, and then they ended up going middle linebacker at 12. The pick is in. Let's enter the commission once again for the 22nd pick in the Cleveland Browns.
With the 27th pick in the MBL Season 22 rookie draft, the Cleveland Browns select left tackle Plummer from Ohio State.
The Ohio State University, and another pick for the Browns. They're just bringing in an offensive line. They're just going to have to change their name to the Cleveland Ohio State Buckeyes if they keep doing this. The junior, 6'5", 315, left tackle, definitely shoring up the trenches there. Let's go to number 23, Fat. You're still hanging out with us in the AFC North. It is the Bengals once again, the AFC North with tons of picks here. The Bengals at number 23. They went defensive tackle at number 17. They went cornerback at number 14. This is their 3rd pick here in the season 22 rookie draft. What are you hearing out of Cincinnati?
Well, they still have another pick here, so they have an option to kind of do a couple different things here. But they did address the defensive tackle situation with Geno Atkins, and now I think they're going to flip it to the other side of the ball. As we talked about before, they did let AJ Green go, let him go test free agency, and they did bring in Emmanuel Sanders, but he's also an aging wide receiver, and I don't think he's an AJ Green caliber wide receiver at this point. And then Devin Funchess, same thing. They're both obviously very, very talented. But I think they still need to find that wide receiver. And there's still some wide receivers here that I think are definitely valuable at this position. And I think that this would be a good opportunity, as they're pretty strong in most areas, for them to add that wide receiver to start learning from these veteran guys on this team.
The pick is into the commissioner and the Cincinnati Bengals with their 3rd pick in the draft. Let's see where the Bengals went at number 23.
With the 23rd pick in the MBL Season 22 rookie draft, the Cincinnati Bengals select halfback Tompkins.
It is Tompkins is the pick, a halfback. Fat, are you a little surprised that they ended up going halfback there? Is this possibly best player available, or is this a guy that the Bengals might have had on their board?
I am slightly surprised, but at the same time, you got to remember that Jeremy Hill did leave, a season ago, and they definitely did not have the same running game last season that they were used to having. So, you can sit here and say that they should have addressed AJ Green's departure, but you can't blame or, fault them for going halfback here either. He's definitely a guy that can possibly be a Jeremy Hill type halfback. But we'll just have to wait and see. And, we got another pick coming here, so they could still look to add that wide receiver on the outside. But definitely a great pick here for these guys.
Bengals picking up the halfback Tompkins at number 23. Let's go to number 24, and that's where we have the New Orleans Saints once again, and that's where we find Lip hanging out with the Saints. Lip, the Saints picked back at number 20. They went with the big Haas Zumwalt at left guard. What are you hearing from the Saints here at 24?
I think that we're going to see a very similar pick. I'm looking at Marquez Person. He is a right guard. He is just about as strong as Zumwalt, not quite as quick though, but just talking with Bananas and the Saints, they really want to rely on what they did last year. They had the run game come on strong, like I talked about after the Jeanette injury, but they took Zumwalt for the right guard position. Now they still need somebody to slide out to right tackle. I don't know if Person is the guy to slide out there, but they are now going to have 5 or 6 solid linemen that they're going to be able to put in there and have Alston run.
Let's see, indeed, if they do go offensive lineman once again, as the pick is being sent up to the commissioner here at number 24. While we have a second, once again, we'd like to remind everyone, give us a follow on Twitter at Bomber League, and be sure to check out our website, 365.maddenbomberleague.com, for all your information here on the MBL. The pick is in. Let's send it up to the commish for pick number 24 in the New Orleans Saints.
With the 24th pick in the MBL Season 22 rookie draft, the New Orleans Saints select right guard Person.
Indeed, the Saints do go offensive line again. They go right guard with Person. Lip, you sound a little hesitant about the pick. Do you like where they're going at 24? You think they should go elsewhere?
I like that. There were some guys left at wide receiver that might have been able to go at this point, but they have Brandon Cooks. I think that they really wanted to solidify their offensive line. I like the pick a lot. Offensive line's very important. A lot of guys skip over it sometimes and reach for that speedy guy, that flashy guy. But I like this. Person 6'5", 338. That's going to be paired with Zumwalt, who's 6'3", 327. These guys are both young, and they are awesome football players.
Huge guys there on the offensive line, and they're going to be able to block for Laylon Olsen. Hopefully, we'll be able to fit through those holes as they got two big guys down there on the offensive line. Let's go to our next pick. That's where we find the Miami Dolphins at number 25. That's where we find Brocco once again. Brocco, the Dolphins picked earlier in this draft. This is their second pick. They picked at number 13, and they did go left tackle, trying to shore up that offensive line and give some protection to their quarterback. Where do you see the Dolphins going here at number 25?
Well, a lot of people would think they might shoot for the QB now that Max Bragg is still available, but I still think they're going to give Brock one solid year, and I think they're going to take the center Ty Lake there. I think they're going to keep shoring up this offensive line and just give Brock the best opportunity he can to lead this team to a division challenge.
We will see if Brock Osweiler is that answer down in Miami as the pick is being run up to the commissioner. And we will see where the Dolphins are going here at number 25. Got a lot going on in the chat. Mr. Chunky, the MBL Chargers owner, recently called up saying the Browns having a nice draft indeed. Cortez Logan saying the Browns had a great first round. Certainly helps having 4 picks, and they definitely pick up a lot of guys on that offensive line. Mr. Chunky also saying Saints making room for the MVP. The offensive line is certainly the talk right now as a lot of teams are shoring up the trenches, trying to create some holes for the running backs and protect the quarterback. Porter, the owner of the Denver Broncos, saying in the chat, better hope Brock is the truth. Indeed, he would know about it having Brock Osweiler in Denver. Brock Osweiler has definitely been one of those quarterbacks that's bounced around the league. A lot of people had some faith in him early, and he struggled as of late. The pick is in. Let's send it to the commish for the Miami Dolphins at number 25.
With the 25th pick in the MBL Season 22 rookie draft, the Miami Dolphins select free safety Gunn.
It is indeed the free safety Gunn. Now to shore up that secondary in Miami, Brocco, free safety was not mentioned as one of the places they might go. Are you surprised that they go safety here at number 25?
I'm not really surprised, but I don't think they took the best player. Gunn here, he had a hard time with the combine and the interviews, and he had a hard time comprehending playbooks and just basic things. So I think this is kind of a stretch for them, but it does help them. They got rid of Rashad Jones, so it kind of shores up their defensive area in the back with a young guy. It makes sense, but it's a really big stretch.
We will see indeed if this is a guy who can help that defense in Miami at number 25. Let's go to number 26, and we finally have the last pick for the Cincinnati Bengals. Let's go to Project Fat once again. Fat, the Bengals surprised some people last pick going halfback, but they've really been all over the board, showing up their secondary and their defensive line as well. This is their 4th pick in the first round. What are you hearing out of Cincinnati?
Well, I talked about possible wide receiver, and I think that's obviously still an option here, but they're also, I think they're kind of looking ahead for the future here as well. They're going to be losing Bowling next year to free agency most likely, so they're possibly looking at maybe a guy that can come in, get some snaps with the team this year, and possibly replace him next season. So definitely go offensive line as well. So it's going to be between the O-line or a wide receiver. Either way, I don't think I don't think they can go wrong with this pick. It's just depending on who they feel is going to be the most impactful player on that roster this year.
And the pick is into the commissioner. The Bengals have made their 4th pick of the draft. Let's send it to the commish for the Cincinnati Bengals at number 26.
With the 26th pick in the NBL Season 22 rookie draft, the Cincinnati Bengals select center Roll.
It is Trey Roll from Ole Miss, 6'2", 297. This is a guy who played on the offensive line in the SEC, definitely having to play against a lot of talented defensive linemen. Fat, the Bengals go offensive line again. You like the pick?
Yeah, most definitely. Like I said, I think that they feel a little bit more comfortable with wide receiver. Maybe they can pass on it for this time being because the 2 acquisitions they did bring in from free agency. So why not shore up the offensive line? Get this guy in there, give him some reps with the offense this year, potentially make him a starter next year, and maybe even this year. It depends on how things go. They'll have a chance to look at him in preseason and decide what they like to do with this guy moving forward. But I definitely like the pick.
The Bengals do go with center, and it is Roll out of Ole Miss. Let's go to pick number 27 as we're nearing the end of the Season 22 MBL rookie draft, round number 1. Let's see that it's the Chicago Bears at number 27. We haven't heard from DK in a while. Let's throw it out to DK, who's been hanging out with Chicago. DK, this is a team that lost some nice players in the offseason, Phil Lodeholt, Chris Smith, but they picked up some nice additions, namely Duke Johnson, the running back, certainly an electric player. They also got Jason Kelsey, but this is a team that still has needs at quarterback, and they have need on the offensive line. They're picking here at number 27. What are you hearing out of Chicago?
I just got off the phone with the owners from the Chicago Bears, and he was ecstatic. He has his choice between Bragg and Teixeira. I think he should go Teixeira, but I'm thinking he's going Bragg. He's been playing with over 30-year-old quarterbacks. He had Cutler, he had Romo, and he finally has a chance to get a young quarterback in with, there's really good receivers with White and Jeffrey, and then the defense is so good. The Draco defense has always been amazing, so he's definitely going quarterback, and he's very excited about it.
The Bears looking to shore up the quarterback position, as that Draco defense is well known all around the MBL, and you'll hopefully get a chance to see them on MBL Live this season. You're definitely going to want to check them out. Let's see where they go as the pick is being run up to the commissioner here at number 27. We'll see if they indeed do go with a young quarterback, something that the Bears have not had in a while, a young quarterback that they can develop in their own system. This is a team that loves developing that defense. The offensive side of the ball sometimes gets left behind, but this is a Bears team that definitely wants to keep challenging for playoff spots and eventually maybe get into that MBL Super Bowl. We had a great one this year here on MBL Live. We hope to have another one next year. We appreciate everybody who tuned in for that one. That certainly was an exciting game. The pick is in. Let's see if they go where DK says they were going to go. Throw it to the commission for pick number 27 in the Chicago Bears.
With the 27th pick in the MBL Season 22 rookie draft, the Chicago Bears select quarterback Bragg.
Once again, it is quarterback DK. They go with Max Bragg out of Texas, 6'5", 225. This guy's a big guy in the quarterback position. Not quite as big as a guy like Joe Flacco, but he's definitely a tall guy. He's got a big arm. Well, what are the Bears getting? Is this a guy who can possibly lead them to the promised land of a division title?
It's very interesting because the Vikings and the Bears went offense with their first picks in the first round. And they have to, because they have to score points in order to stay up with the Lions. The Lions are really tough. They're always consistent every year, and they're going to put up points. And now with the Draco defense having a quarterback, the sky's the limit for these guys. They can go ahead and make a run for it and be a force in the NFC.
We will see if they are indeed a force with their young quarterback, Bragg out of Texas. Let's go to pick number 28, and that's where we find the Washington Redskins and Gubb, and that is where we also have Eddie Mars. Going to hear from him once again. Eddie, the Redskins lost some guys in the offseason you just sort of associate with the Redskins. Deshaun Jackson, a huge name that they lost, but he's definitely getting up there in age. Also lost Junior Gillette. They signed some nice players in the offseason. Justin Bones is a nice signing. Earl Cole's a nice signing. They definitely want to build through the draft here after getting so close to the promised land last year. They have needs at wide receiver. They have not needs at cornerback. Where are you hearing out of Washington? Where are the Redskins going?
Well, they have a lot of options. They have a couple holes that they'd like to get filled, mainly at wide receiver and defensive tackle. They might want to pick up a quarterback because Kirk Cousins is getting up in age. He's 31 years old. DeMarcus Lawrence and Cliff Averill on the defensive end are both kind of deteriorating. They're both getting up there in age. Cliff Averill, 31 years old as well. So I could see them going Chris Lyle, but if I'm guessing, I'm saying they go Dawson Peters, the defensive tackle out of Texas. He's 21 years old, has a great career ahead of him. He's physically a monster. And I definitely think that's how they're going to play this.
Let's see indeed if that's where the Skins go as the pick is being run up to the commission. We'll find where Washington goes. There's a team that's been so close to getting to that NFC Championship game year after year, but they play in a division with the Dallas Cowboys. They face them twice a year. This is a team, though, that is incredibly talented, sort of under the radar in the NFC as teams seem to overlook them. The pick is in. It's to the commission. Let's send it to the commission for pick number 28 in the Washington Redskins.
With the 28th pick in the MBL Season 22 rookie draft, the Washington Redskins select strong safety Sams.
And they go secondary. They don't go on the defensive line. They go secondary with Sams, trying to shore up that secondary on the back end. Strong safety there. Eddie, are you surprised they ended up going strong safety, or do you think this was a nice pick for them?
I'm a little surprised. They have three pretty good young safeties that it seems like they could have a bright future there, but it seems to me that they want to move on from Jordan Diedrich and really bring in a new wave of their secondary.
All right, the pick is Sam's at number 28. Let's go to number 29. That's where we find Deca Dog and the San Francisco 49ers. That's where we also find DK once again. DK, this is a team that had some free agency battles. They were definitely in a lot of negotiations. They lost Torrey Smith, who's just getting up there in age, Anthony Davis. They added Caleb Sturgis, Justin Britt, another nice wide receiver, maybe a little older. This is a team that needs weapons, though. The San Francisco offense has struggled so hard getting the ball down the field. What are you hearing out of San Francisco? Where are they going at number 29?
Well, they're very, very weak at defensive tackle and very weak up the middle. And this is the right time to go after Deshaun Peters. But I'm hearing from the 49ers front office that they're going with Ty Lake, the center out of Texas. They want to continue to shore up the offensive line and help out their young quarterback. And so I'm definitely thinking they're going Ty Lake, even though I think they should really go Dawson Peters. He's a force up the middle. He can stop the run and rush the passer. I mean, he's a guaranteed pick right here. But they're going to go Ty Lake.
Hearing it is Ty Lake. Let's get the confirmation. Send it up to the commish. It's the San Francisco 49ers at pick number 29.
With the 29th pick in the MBL Season 22 rookie draft, the San Francisco 49ers select center Ty Lake.
It is Ty Lake indeed, the center, trying to shore up that offensive line in San Francisco. Lake is a nice player in the center, 6'1", 301 from the University of Texas. You had a little trepidation with that pick there, DK, but do you like what Lake brings to the offensive line?
Definitely. He's definitely going to be able to shore up the offensive line, but there was a huge hole on the defensive line and defensive tackle, and he definitely should have went there. But that's his team, and he knows what he's doing in his front office. He's building it in his own image, so he went with Lake.
Yeah, they do go Lake at number 29. Let's go to pick number 30, and that's where we find Doughboy and the Houston Texans. And that's where we also find Sonny Weaver, who's been hanging out with Houston. Sonny, they got rid of Brock Osweiler. This is a team that Osweiler sort of led them after they had some injuries at the quarterback position. They also lost Brian Cushing, a leader for so many years at middle linebacker. They added, Dan Carpenter, who's a nice kicker, but really they didn't play a lot in free agency. They want to build through this draft here at number 30. They have needs on the defensive end and at middle linebacker. Where do you think the Texans are going here at number 30?
You know, at 30, I think it's a little too early to go for a 3-4 end. There's a couple out there that are more second-rated type of guys. If you wanted to get crazy, there is a 4-3 end out there that could be an option. But honestly, I think they're going with the strong safety Cochran. I think he's up on the board there. Good value this late. There were some questions, though, regarding his interviews at the Combine. Some people felt like he didn't have all the right answers for him. However, out there in Oklahoma, he was an enforcer, a very fast safety, 4.43, very, very good in zone coverage, and he can lay the wood. So I think at this point, Cochran at pick number 30 would be a great value for the Houston Texans, who've got to find a way to slow down defenses. Obviously, they had struggles with that against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
As we will indeed see where the Houston Texans go. The pick is being run up to the commissioner as we speak, and we will see where the Texans go. The pick is in. Let's send it up to the commish for pick number 30 in the Houston Texans.
With the 30th pick in the MBL Season 22 rookie draft, the Houston Texans select defensive tackle Peters.
It is Dawson Peters, another player out of the University of Texas, defensive tackle, 6'1", 299. Sonny, they do go defensive tackle, shoring up the trenches on the defensive side of the ball. What does this guy bring to this Houston Texans defense?
You know, honestly, I feel like Peters is more of a 4-3 defensive tackle. I feel like Peters maybe a little undersized to play the nose in a 3-4, but that's something we'll be yet to see. He's only 6'1", so a little short. I'm not sure he's got the frame to pack it on. Now, will he get kicked out to end eventually in his career? That's something that is left to be determined. Now, great player, don't get me wrong, very productive, just not sure the fit here in a 3-4.
They do go with Peters here at defensive tackle. As we're getting down to the end of the Season 22 first-round broadcast, we thank everybody for hanging out with us. Let's go to pick number 31, and it is the defending AFC champion, Pittsburgh Steelers, and that's where we find Project Fat once again. Fat, the Steelers, a lot of speculation that Ben Roethlisberger is going to be his last year, but he ends up not retiring. He's sticking around a little longer. They do lose Marcus Wheaton, who's such a big player in that Super Bowl, and Bud Dupree in the offseason. They signed Clay Matthews, a nice player in the middle there from Green Bay. They also signed Malik Lovelock, but this is a team that has some needs at linebacker. They also have some needs at wide receiver. What are you hearing out of Pittsburgh?
Yeah, most definitely. They also lost Stephon Tuitt as well, and you know, in that Super Bowl, you know, it was definitely a rough game, not the normal game you see from that team. Obviously, they're the AFC champion for a reason, and they won the Super Bowl the 2 years before that as well. So I definitely think they need to address the defensive side of the ball. That's definitely been their biggest area of opportunity. They've been able to move the ball on offense. The only area they really struggled in is with the run game. But, you know, Le'Veon Bell was injured throughout the year as well, which definitely doesn't help anything. But I definitely think they have to address the defensive side. So that's what I expect them to do here. As far as, you know, position, it's whatever they feel like is going to be the best player available. But I see it maybe being the defensive line or, like you said, that linebacker position as well.
31 overall is where we find the Pittsburgh Steelers. The pick is being run up to the commissioner as we will find out where the defending AFC champions go. The pick is in. Let's send it to the commissioner for pick number 31 and the Pittsburgh Steelers.
With the 31st pick in the MBL Season 22 rookie draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select wide receiver Hayden.
Fat, they go with wide receiver Caleb Hayden out of Florida State, 5'8", 189, from Miami. He grew up a Hurricanes fan, ended up going up to Florida State for college, leaving a year early. This guy's a speedster. He's not very big, but he definitely makes up for it with his athleticism. What sort of weapon is Ben Roethlisberger and the Steelers getting?
He's definitely, you know, big time threat all over the field, whether it's, you know, vertically or in the red zone as well. You know, and, you know, maybe their mindset is because they're the number one offense in the NBL. Maybe they just don't feel like defense is super, super important right now. Who knows? But I definitely think this is a good pick. They, like you said, Wheaton is gone and, you know, Antonio Brown's getting older as well. So you can't fault them here for this.
They indeed do go wide receiver and Hayden at number 31. And we finally get to the last pick here of the first round at number 32. It is JYM, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And that's where we find Lip for the final time. Lip, this is a Buccaneers team that had some losses in the offseason. They lost Levante David, was sort of the big name they lost. They also lost J.R. Sweezy. Weren't a big player in the free agency, a little cap strong. This is a team that does love to build through the draft, though, but they have needs at wide receiver, also offensive line. With so many receivers off the board, is there somebody that they're going to take there at wide receiver, or you think they're going somewhere else?
I think they're going to go somewhere else. JY is very, very good at finding defensive talent in all places, whether it be free agency, the draft, practice squads. This guy knows defense. Their defense is actually pretty good. They're top 10 in a lot of things. The only thing is that they are a little rough against the run defense, but they're going to figure that out. Hopefully they get a guy to replace David. But I see them going with a guy, Cochran, strong safety. He fell. A lot of guys were kind of surprised that some other safeties went ahead of him, but he's very fast and very strong. He's going to be able to lay some hard hits and create some turnovers for this already good defense.
And let's see indeed where we go. We'll throw it to the commissioner one final time for number 32 and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
The final selection in the MBL Season 22 rookie draft first round, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers select strong safety Cochran.
Indeed, they go strong safety. They go secondary for this Tampa Bay Buccaneers team that's fighting in that NFC South. An interesting selection indeed. Go with Cochran, who is out of the University of Oklahoma, lateral Cochran, 6 foot even, 202 pounds, sort of a bigger guy known as a big hitter in the Big 12. Lip, you like the pick for the secondary?
Yeah, I do. Like I said, this defense is very good. JY is very good at finding defenders, and I like the way that he builds his teams and the way that they play defense. They play defense a little different than other teams in the league, and even though that the offense is a little rough, they're still developing. They're still pretty young, but Cochran's going to be able to come in, and I do think he's going to be able to be a leader for the defense. Levante David is gone now. Now they need somebody to step up, and I think that this guy will be that leader for many seasons to come.
And that is the last pick here of our broadcast here in the first round of the Season 22 NBL Rookie Draft. Before we get out of here, let's bring in the Commissioner Bomber for a couple questions. Bomber, a great night for the league as always with the Rookie Draft. Before we get to who you think might have been one of the winners of the first round, just tell us a bit about what this Rookie Draft means for the owners here in the NBL.
Well, this is an opportunity for a lot of owners to solidify themselves as being a developer of a team, and they're looking for pieces that they can put together. I mean, we saw a lot of guys accumulate a lot of picks in MBL season 22. The Falcons did a great job. The Cincinnati Bengals were always wheeling and dealing, and then we saw the Kansas City Chiefs and the Cleveland Browns along with the 49ers have some great drafts. So I'm looking for a lot of upside between these teams this year, and I also like what the Philadelphia Eagles did. They didn't reach with the pick that they had. They were going for a couple players that got taken, especially they like KJ Powell at number 12 middle linebacker. It ended up not happening, so they went with the offensive line left guard Meyer. So this is an opportunity to really build your team, and this is what the NBL is all about. You know, we build franchises through the draft and through free agency and player development, and this is one of the core places that it all starts.
No doubt, a great night for the MBL and a great job to the commish for this first round and this whole broadcast. And we certainly appreciate everyone hanging out with us on this Saturday night in the MBL Season 22 Rookie Draft. Be sure to give us a follow on Twitter at Bomber League. That's where you can keep up with all the news here in the Madden Bomber League, as well as find out about upcoming broadcasts as we're getting ready for Season 22 just around the corner. And we'll have plenty of MBL live games for you once again this season, as we once again appreciate everyone for hanging out with us, and we hope you have a wonderful night. For everybody who broadcasted with me tonight, Lip, Fat, Sonny Weaver, Bracco, Eddie Mars, and DK, and of course a huge shout out to our producer Gibbs behind the scenes and our commissioner Bomber. I'm OSU. Thanks again for joining us, and we hope we'll catch you later this year on MBL Live here in the Madden Bomber League.